In this video, we're going to be talking about how to create your first lead nurturing campaign. Now, this is typically done after you've created a landing page. You could create this before, it doesn't really matter, but typically the flow will go landing page to lead nurturing campaign. So we're going to go ahead and click on this button here right on the dashboard, Lead Nurturing Manager, and that's going to bring into our lead nurturing tool. Now, we do have just some kind of cool, tips that kind of randomly display here that give you some insight on how you can, improve your lead nurturing campaign. So that's what this is. But in this case, because we haven't created any, we're going to go ahead and click this Add New Email button, and that will bring up our first email. So just like we did on our landing page, we will want to create associate these lead nurturing emails with a particular campaign. In this case, we're going to use that same campaign that we used earlier, the top funnel, Marketing Mike, who's our persona, and for the on-site SEO ebook download. Now, if I had multiple campaigns, I could click on this, scroll down, pick the campaign that I was associating these lead nurturing emails with, and do it that way. But in this case, because we're going to keep it consistent with the landing page we created earlier, I'm going to leave it for the top funnel Marketing Mike on-site SEO. Now, the email name, this is an internal name again. So this is not publicly facing. This is specifically for you so that you can organize all of your emails that you send out. And just like we talked about with campaigns and with landing pages, this needs to be exactly very close to a very organized naming convention so that you can keep this very organized. So with that being said, I always like to, again, I know it sounds repetitive, but I personally like to just go with the exact same top funnel, Marketing Mike, on-site SEO, and I want to say maybe this is email 1. Right, so when you're planning out all your emails, you may have this in an Excel spreadsheet of all the emails you send after a particular download, and this would be email 1 that we're creating right now. Now you have the option of publishing it or unpublishing it. If you, for some reason, did not want this email to be sent out, or maybe it's a draft, you could choose unpublished, but when you're ready to send it out, you got to make sure that we have this left at published. The from name. So this is essentially who sent this email, and it should always be a real person. It should never really be like support, or customer service. Make it a real person. And so in this case, I'm going to put Luke Summerfield. Okay. And same with the from email. Never use a do not reply email. We want our customers to reply to us. We want to get in communication, develop those relationships. So you want to use an email, and I would highly suggest using a personal email versus like a contact@jInbound.com or support@jInbound.com. Instead, use a real person's email, because that's going to help both of these things. The from name and the from email is going to help increase your conversion rate on opens, right? Because people like to read real emails, not necessarily automatic, kind of bulk emails that are being sent out. So in this case, I'm going to do luke@jInbound.com. Now this field send after is how many days after they filled out the form do I want this email to get sent out? Now again, like I talked about, I would suggest using Excel spreadsheet to plan this all out. And you'll look and you'll say, okay, I'm sending the first email out. I want to send immediately after they finish filling out the form. So right when they fill out the form on day 0, I wanted to send that out. So if you wanted to send out the same time, basically after they fill out the form, or maybe a few minutes after, you're going to put 0. If I want it to send out 1 week after they fill out the form, I'm going to put 7 days. Okay, and so on and so forth, however many days you want it to send out after. Now the subject, that's going to be the subject of your actual email. These need to be very short, very engaging, evoke some type of curiosity for the user to click and learn more. And so just as a random example of what I may want to use, I may say, oh look, we have more content for you. Okay, so this is after they've downloaded our ebook. 7 days later, we're going to send out an email subject. Oh, look, we have more great content for you. Then from here, you're going to use this text box to create the actual email, right? So you can add in all your text, hi, thanks again for downloading our ebook, okay? And then you're gonna go on and on and on and on and on and fill it out. And eventually you'll say, thanks so much, Luke. Okay, and you can add in pictures if you wanna add in pictures. This is, in this case, we have JCE editor installed. If you have just the stock Joomla editor, you may not have this many options, but you can do different highlighting. You can add in links. If you wanna add in a link, you can add in pictures from your media manager, all kinds of different stuff. So I would recommend building this out and just like you would any other article. And again, these emails should be short, they should be sweet. I'd usually recommend keeping them under 200 words total, using bullet points. If you have a lot of info, maybe posting that info on your website and linking to your website versus having it all in the form in the email. But again, the best way is to just test and measure and see how it works. Now the last part is just putting in your plain body email. So you can actually just copy the email that you have up here and paste it in here and then do whatever kind of reformatting you want to make it look pretty for these users that are not necessarily accepting HTML emails. And it's still a best practice to have both a plain and a HTML body. So really, that's all we need to do to create our first email. So in this case, we're gonna, you may want to periodically click that save button to make sure that you save it. But we're actually gonna go ahead and just click save and close. Okay. Now from there, you can see it's all sorted by campaign name. So we have our initial campaign name, and then the email name, which is email 1. Okay, it is active and it's gonna send after 7 days. Now let's say I wanted to create another email. I can do that in 2 different ways. I could go up to the top here and click new email, and that would bring me to a blank email form. But in this case, I want to create, let's say I want the exact same format of this first email. I just want to change up the copy in the subject. And so I'm going to open this up, and it will actually let me click this button, save as copy. And so now this is actually a copied version of my first original email. So when I go in here, I'm gonna actually switch this to email 2 because this is gonna be my new second email. It already has my name and email information in there. Now I want this to send out after 2 weeks. So I'm gonna send 14 days later. Okay, I need to edit my title. Okay, so I'm not gonna do it. I'm just gonna put a new title just to give you the idea. And I'll edit my text, right? Whatever I want for my new text. And my new text there. Okay, once I got all that done, once I have my second email edited, I'm going to click save and close. And now you'll see that this email 2, was saved under this particular campaign. So it makes it very easy to visualize how this is all gonna flow to your user. So anyone who subscribed to this campaign name, which was picked in the form fields when we filled out our form, will receive this email 1, 7 days after they fill out that form. Then they're gonna receive email 2, 14 days after they've filled out that form, and so on and so forth. And if you had multiple campaign names, that you'd see the next campaign name here and then the emails. And now you can sort by campaign, you can sort by email or email name, you can sort whether it's active or even the schedule as well. So you have all different types of things along with a search bar to try and go through all your emails and keep them very organized and find them very easily. So that's your lead nurturing manager. And after that, we're going to talk about what to do once you get your first lead.